The final week of the regular split is upon us. 3 teams do battle for the final 2 playoff byes, while the rest look to make their mark on the postseason. Every team has 2 games left to make their moves. The fans are pumped. Are you? The LCS starts right now. The fans are pumped up as the LCS tailgate had MARKZ's favorite activity and some custom poster booths. The LCS, of course, would not be complete without tacos. They were mighty delicious, if I do say so myself. I will also say that was the loudest, absolute loudest the crowd has ever been behind me for one of those, and I could not hear myself, a word of what I was saying while I was saying it. So I'm glad it all came out coherently.
Great job, though.
To some degree. But no, kudos to this audience for our Week 9, Saturday, Day 1, loudest one we've ever had. Hello and welcome to the LCS Countdown, where 30 minutes we enter Foldy Sheet Season, the best time of the season, and Mark goes on a rant until the timer reaches 0 and we jump into Champion Select. Let's go ahead and check in with how things stand, though, before our final 10 games of the regular season. No playoff byes are locked quite yet, as Team Liquid, Counterlogic Gaming, and Cloud9 are still in a race at the top of the table. Then, of course, the final 3 playoff spots are up for grabs as TSM, Golden Guardians, Optic, Clutch, and 100 Thieves all vie for postseason positioning. With all that laid out, though, let's go ahead and take a look at the big-ticket matches for the day. First up, Optic have a tough road to the postseason ahead of them as they face CLG in Game 1. Then in Game 3, Clutch Gaming challenges 100 Thieves in a playoff-crucial matchup. Optic Gaming, though, they come into this weekend with the uncomfortable position of battling for the postseason lives after taking an 0-2 week versus arguably easier opponents just last week.
Yeah, you could attribute the losses last week to some strange changes in their draft priority, actually.
What stands out to you? What was strange?
I mean, you remember Week 7, right? Back-to-back huge victories for Optic, Dokla and Aatrox, dunking everybody. But there were some changes to the champion between weeks on the new patch.
Oh, he was nerfed into the ground.
So he was nerfed into the ground, so he was dead and no one was going to play him, right?
Actually, it was just fine. They lowered the cooldown on the ultimate, increased the self-healing, and champion actually had a lot of success. And in fact, Optic themselves lost to it twice after abandoning Dokla's most successful champion.
But how did Dokla do?
He ended up with a negative 40 at 15 because of this. 2 Poppy games, both into Aatrox, by the way. They gave up on one of their biggest successes and had a complete flop.
Well, so we'll have to see if they rethink their draft priority here coming into Week 9 around that Aatrox. We will see how Optic fares against first-place hopefuls in CLG, who've been riding high off of their bot lane success.
CLG's bot lane has just been stellar all split long, and then you got Stixxay, who hasn't been particularly flashy, but he holds it down. He's not a liability for the team. Often what happens is AD carry gets out of position, doesn't do anything, but he does his job, and then it allows Biofrost to continue to pop off. He's been having an amazing performance. Unfortunately for him, the Lux did get nerfed out of the support position, but he's still rocking the Rakan, playing Braum, doing all sorts of things, and I think that he's been such a pillar for this team, and best of all, he enables the jungler Wiggly to feel confident and really have those crazy Sylas or Sejuani games.
And that's what's interesting about the matchup versus Optic, because Big and Arrow have been doing a lot better in the last couple weeks, finding a lot of kills for themselves, and so if they can help knock down the bot lane of CLG, maybe Meteos and Crown can start things going, and if Dokla returns to his infamous Aatrox, they actually have an okay chance, I think, versus CLG.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is one of those matchups that, while yes, I think most people look at it as CLG favored, the peak performances of Optic suggest that this is very much a winnable game.
They almost beat Team Liquid last week. I think that's all you need to know that this is a team that can 100% take down CLG on the right day. It's just a matter of CLG has been so crazy consistent all split long, and they deliver just deadly blows against any team that is not consistent enough as they are, whereas Optic, they're up and down, and that just has never cut it against CLG this split.
It's a sweet one to kick off the day, but a reminder that these teams are ultimately playing for a shot at the Summer Finals, presented by Rocket Mortgage. Tickets are on sale now, so lock down your spot at the Little Caesars Arena for an entire weekend of action, which includes the State Farm Summer Finals Cosplay Contest, where 5 talented cosplayers will be flown out to experience the finals weekend in Detroit. Cosplayers will compete for a round-trip ticket to the 2019 World Championship Finals for them and one friend, and a cash prize of $5,000. Learn more at riot.com/finals cosplay. For now, though, we are going to step away. When we return, we look at some of the players to watch on the road to Detroit. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, where we're not far away from game one of the day. Last week, we looked at some of the rides people would be taking to the postseason, but now we want to look at some of the drivers on the road to finals, presented by Rocket Mortgage. Now, when it comes to contesting for the title, here are some of the pros who will be most crucial in bringing their team across the finish line. First up for TSM, it's a mid laner that has been slipping in recent weeks. It's MARKZ.
Yeah, the man over there, he was such a critical part of his team's early success. We even put him #1 on our mid laner rankings in week 6. And the same day we did that is his infamous Rumble game, where he absolutely had a horrible performance, and ever since then, he has looked like a different player. He has not had the same impactful performances. The 2 wins they do have look like they were gifted to them by their opponents who made mistakes, and he is, you know, the driver for TSM, and I think that is indicative of why they're not looking that good, is because MARKZ himself is not playing nearly as well. His TF games have been completely forgettable, whereas early in the split, he was hard winning it for his team.
But it's also so difficult to be playing mid lane without proper jungle synergy, and to that we have to address the fact that today, Acadian's getting subbed out, and normally you'd think, oh, is Greg gonna be coming in? No, it's Spica, and you're like, who on earth is Spica? And why? Spica is the Academy jungler for TSM Academy, and he's been doing fine this split. They just won their quarterfinal matchup yesterday against Team Liquid Academy, but the top laner was actually Greg, so Greg was subbed in for Brandini, the top laner for the Academy team, because of attitude issues. He's been playing top lane, so Greg can't even be subbed in. He's been practicing top lane the past 2 weeks. So Spica's coming in as the third or second replacement for Acadian. And I think this might be a positive change because you're giving a guy that has never played with Bjergsen before, you're giving him the stage time, and maybe it's the opportunity that he's been waiting for his whole life to really step up and turn TSM around.
This seems so crazy to me, though. I cannot see it as a positive change when TSM have been working this whole split like, all right, we're trying to figure out who's going to be the best jungler, splitting time, and as soon as they're like, you know what? It's Acadian.
Nope. Week 5, yeah.
Greg becomes a top laner. Now they're bringing the Academy jungler in. This is actually some M. Night Shyamalan.
We will hope that it's a positive change, but I think it is very much indicative of a team that is floundering and without direction.
I mean, Spica's been fine. He's a Sejuani player. He plays Jarvan. He plays meta. It's going to fit right in.
That's the #1 attribute.
Fine. He plays Sejuani. Yeah. Moving right along to 100 Thieves. Amazing. Another Sejuani player. Amazing had a big hand in the turnaround for 100 Thieves, but they still have work to do to make it into the postseason.
Let me set this straight. Every jungler in Professional League of Legends
is a
Sejuani player right now. That is your #1 requirement. Moving on from that, though, amazing. It's no surprise that he is the driver for 100 Thieves. As soon as he was added to the team, everyone was all about, oh my God, the motivational speaking that he's giving, the attitude of the entire team changed. But I also want to give him props for his individual plays. Created a lot of opportunities super early on. 400 Thieves throughout most of their games. He's playing great on the Rift as well as behind closed doors.
If it's not amazing making the plays, 100 Thieves isn't doing anything though. So it's it sucks when he doesn't find the plays and then makes a misplay.
Better jungler wins.
Nobody else does anything on the team, but he's been doing so much so often that it does put the team in playoff contention.
And people are starting to rally a little bit more. Fake God has actually won a couple laning phases recently. Even unironically tweeted the win game. Well, because it was a meme before. He could unironically tweet win lane, win game a couple times recently. So he's been stepping up. Ryu's been better, and the bot lane as well.
Next up, FBI, open up, baby. All right, let's talk about them.
Golden Guardians, they have been on a tear. Now, this team is finally coming together, and a lot of it is from the bottom lane. And this is a player that's really interesting to me because he's not an import from Korea or Europe. He's from Australia, really the second player we have from the LCS and Academy players here. And in the first weeks, it was a little bit rough for him and Huhi. They were kind of running it down, sometimes being a bit too aggressive, but they finally found their footing, playing a little bit more cautiously, and you can see that he has been popping off. We've even given him Player of the Week last week, and a lot of it comes down to teams are still not respecting the fact that he's a viable and solid carry, and they keep tunneling for Frogging constantly, and then they just get wiped every time by FBI.
I mean, there's a reason he has a helmet on, though, in this picture, because he definitely had some very bad performances, and his initial weeks coming in, like you said, it's been a lot better. I think he's more like a co-pilot. I still think Froggin's the pilot.
No, you got Huhi. You can't forget
He's the guy reading the map.
Navigator, exactly. I like it, though. Safety first here for FBI. Moving down the list to Optics Meteos. Again, another mainstay jungler who has been very pivotal both on and off the Rift for his team.
Yeah, and I think, you know, kind of similar to the story with Golden Guardians, the rest of Optic has been stepping up finally. Dokla had a great week 7, like Kobe was talking about earlier. Arrow and Big have been playing a lot better, but everything still runs through Meteos. Piranashi is their entire early game, and he's the one who gets them off the ground. The influence he has in their wins can't be overstated, and while there is a lot more going on around him, it's still mostly jump-started through Meteos.
Yeah, he's absolutely taken over games, and it looks crazy when you see a level 1 invade be successful for Optic, and him utilize that early lead to just take over the entire game, especially the Olaf one. That was really big.
Always a stellar player to keep your eyes on. And finally, Clutch Gaming's Cody Sun, the most fun driver out of all of them, as you can see.
That's when he picks Zed. That's his Zed pick.
That's the Zed pick.
It's one of the most fun teams. If you look at the last 5 games that Clutch Gaming has had, even the matchup against Team Liquid, they're for the most part ahead in the pre-15 games. So this is a team that's been ramping up slowly, and Cody Sun has been one of the players that steps up as a reliable carry. But it's not just him. You got Huni in the top lane that is also doing really well now, no longer being kind of a feast or famine player, being quite consistent now. And so I really think that this team on this week is where they're gonna make their mark, make it into playoffs, and take it all the way home. I think Clutch Gaming is the dark horse.
Yeah, I mean, they've beaten all the teams below them in the standings whenever they play against them, so they should be able to complete that.
Yeah, plus I think, like you're saying, with the addition of Cody Sun compared to Piglet last split, they have a place on the map that they can kind of not sink resources into and draft weird stuff for. He's pretty consistent, so he's been a very good stabilizer for them.
They've got 100 Thieves today and Golden Guardians tomorrow. 2 very crucial matchups for them, in particular the one today, as 100 Thieves is one of those teams in the race for playoffs. Golden Guardians, one of the teams they could take it from. We're taking another quick break, but as we go, week 9 of a split means one thing. See what happens when an unsuspecting analyst gets too big for his britches in this summer's blockbuster, Fear the Fold. Now, on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for more of the LCS. Good night. Woo-hoo. All right, week 8 in the books.
On to week 9,
I like
baby.
that. Only one more to go till we close out the regular split. Ooh, that reminds me. Given we only have one more week of the regular split, stats team's got to come in and do their whole foldy sheet calculations tonight. So just remember, don't stay in here past 3 a.m., okay?
Why can't we stand here past 3 a.m.?
Because exactly like I just said, the stats team's got to come in, they got to do their thing, and you don't want to be around here for that.
So I don't want to be around Excel and calculators. Who cares?
Just heed my advice on this one. Do not be in here past 3 a.m. Everything will be all right, okay?
Yeah, okay, it'll be all right.
We still have the playoff race very tight right here. You've got quite a few squads in contest.
We now have Golden Guardians at 8-8, Optic at 8-8.
If we really have it in us to make playoffs, now's the time, it's do or die. There's also time for us to show that we still got it.
Delivery system! Crowd's got him! And Core JJ's on the run! He's got that one too!
TSM is in a position to miss playoffs.
We haven't really showed a lot of strengths or really anything in that regard, so I think we really need just a kick in the ass. I think everyone on our team believes that we're going to turn it around.
They're gonna go for it!
And we're going to make the changes necessary to be a strong team.
They got it! Does the Canadian have it?
Clutch Gaming at 7-9 and 100 Thieves at 7-9.
We're all winners in some kind of way. We had our success back in the past. Being in the moment and creating that sense of urgency now instead of relying on what you used to be is what we have to do continuously.
Bang and run forward. There's the play right away. And the flash from 2 auto, and he gets the kill.
Our last week of games is going to be very interesting, Riv.
Oh yeah, absolutely crazy. Hello, happy investors. Riv here once again to help you navigate the tumultuous markets as teams make the final push for playoffs. We start with my pick, Counterlogic Gaming. They face Optic and 100 Thieves this week, but if you're a member of the faithful, you see this as a couple easy wins. Plus, CLG will yield you a higher return on your investment than Team Liquid. But if CLG doesn't tickle your fancy, then I'd move your attention to that crowded field jockeying for playoff position with one simple bit of advice. Just pick the winner. It's super easy. From my perspective, all signs point to Golden Guardians. Frog and Pop-Off pocket picks and Haunter's Lane Kingdom will have them coming out on top, unless nix that. I'm calling an audible, and we're going Clutch Gaming. Clutch are going to clutch out the rest of the wins that they need from the top side of the map with their strength in Huni and Demonte. So it's time to see red and move your money to... You know what? One more change. We can't forget the Crimson Criminals, 100 Thieves who look to be fully up to speed with veteran experience like Bang, Aframu, and... God, you know what? This is going to take some soul searching on your part. Make a wisdom roll and invest where your heart points you. But I can leave you with one solid, surefire piece of advice, and I need you to listen closely. Avoid the caster curse. Do not, I repeat, do not put your money in the same team as Mark. This could be the difference between hitting a pig or going bust. All right, friends, be safe out there, and as always, happy investing.
I agree.
That is quite possibly the greatest advice in LCS stock market history. Do not put your money where Mark's money is. It's toxic, if you will. But with Riv's advice fresh in your brains, let's go ahead and see how you are faring in the final weeks of the regular split. Here's how the teams are positioned going into our final bye period. Of course, Team Liquid sits atop the table with C9 and CLG close behind. Then a very crowded field as TSM leads a pack between them, 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians, Clutch, Optic, and FlyQuest, while Echo Fox brings up the rear. That's where all the teams are positioned now. It's time to look at your portfolios. Crumbs, you're up first. Did you take Riv's advice?
I did. But two things. Once again, not my picture. I have a new picture.
Stop crying! Crumbs, you keep claiming there's this phantom picture, this phantom better picture of you
That
out
looks
there.
just like him to me.
All right. Clutch Gaming, you heard it from Riv here. This team is going to be on an absolute tear. You see that nice little spike on week 8? That's going to continue, people. Week 9
I like
is
how we're
going to go.
isolating that.
They win up versus 100 Thieves, and then if they can slip by against Golden Guardians, because Golden Guardians doesn't need to win every game to clinch the playoff match. So I think Clutch is really on the treat. If you look at their last 5 games, like I said before, they have been ahead almost every single time, even against Team Liquid. Clutch Gaming makes it to playoffs. I'm going to get rich here. I'm going for number 1.
I like the confidence. They are the highest they have ever, been priced at here coming into
Buy
week
high, sell
9.
higher, baby.
Kobe, right along to you, my friend. What's it going to be?
It was very simple for me, as the richest of anyone on the desk.
That's true.
I don't
got
have
the
to
money.
waste my money.
Boring.
Team Liquid are going to finish strong here, back-to-back victories. You just look for the team that is going to win. That was the best advice Riv gave.
Choose the winner, baby.
Wow.
So you're going for the number 1 team, highest priced stock on the market. What happens if they do drop a game?
Now, the biggest possible loss is if Echo Fox beats Team Liquid, then I'll probably be behind Crumbs. I don't think I'd even get below Mark. But if that happens,
that's impossible.
Congratulations to Echo Fox, because that is like a 0.001% chance.
I have an early announcement. We've elected to award Mark with last place in the stock market before the final week has played through.
What about my portfolio?
Because I think mathematically there's no way that Mark can dig himself
if
out
Echo
of this
Fox
hole.
beats TSM, or Team Liquid, like Kobe's saying, maybe I have a chance.
Mark,
I
you're
just picked the
working
team with the highest chance, or like the highest gains possible, because I'm already in last place.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I'm the bottom.
He's saving everyone else. Nobody else has bought Echo Fox, so you're guaranteed to not curse anyone.
Mark is certainly the least materialistic of anyone.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, the thing is, everyone keeps making fun of my rankings and like the fact that I'm doing terrible this split, but I feel like I have to respond to people, because the people criticizing me, I just can't accept it from them.
Okay.
Because the thing is, when you pull up the standings, When you pull up the standings, the people who are doing well, it's a joke. This is everyone in the office. It's not just us who plays well. Elias, the writer, in first place. He's just a CLG fan. There is nothing about him that made a good decision. He picked CLG at the very beginning. He picked it at the very beginning, has held it the entire time. He's not even playing the game. He's just saying, I'm a CLG fan, okay? Nothing about this guy made a good decision. He's gonna come in here.
Wait, he did. He made a very good decision.
He's winning.
He's
He picked a good team to be a fan of. You know, all right, let's keep going. Dave, the producer, he is, I think, 6th on the list. He meant to sell Optic the week that he made all his money and just forgot. He forgot to sell, and that's when he made his money.
That one is pretty funny.
That is pretty great.
Crumbs doesn't even know how the game works.
What does that say about you?
Week 5, you admitted you didn't know how this game works, and you're doing better. All right, people. It's not just that they're making fun of me for being last; they make fun of my methodology.
All right.
I can't understand it. People say, well, you just keep buying high. I'm not buying high. The highest team I ever bought was Team Liquid, which was 3rd at the time and undervalued, and I made money on it. Everything else was bought at a very fair value, and I lost money on all of them. They all slumped. Every single team slumped.
Every solid line is where Mark picked up a team's stock, and they promptly plummeted after that. Again, only Team Liquid bringing him up in the standings.
Right, so every time they slump, and people say, oh, well, you must not be checking strength of schedule, you dum-dum. I am. I look at their strength of schedule. I make sure they're not playing the top teams. I make sure they're playing teams around them or below them.
You gotta look for the ones that are overrated.
No, what you gotta do is you gotta
think you're gonna win.
Look, let me reference Riv's very coherent advice, given not just 5 minutes ago, which is pick the winner, Mark. In all of those cases, do you know what you did?
My predictions are fine.
You picked the team that then went on to lose.
My actual predictions that we do every week are fine.
All right,
I'm
Mark.
actually up in predictions.
Simple math. Okay, wins make the graph do this. Go up, okay? Losses rather than make them do this. Your graph was doing a lot of this.
Why are my predictions okay, but my stock's so bad? It's pure randomness. The world hates me. I'm flaming the world. I hate everything about it.
Okay, fair enough. With that off Mark's chest, let's go ahead and take a look at the predictions for the day. Again, a lot of playoff impacting matchups here, and I only see a few differences coming in games 2 and 3. Golden Guardians for Crumbs over C9. We're going to talk about that. Clutch for both Crumbs and Mark over 100 Thieves, which is what Kobe's going for. Let's talk about Golden Guardians over C9 first.
Yeah, well, Golden Guardians, I think their bottom lane has been kicking ass. We heard it before, FBI, the driver back there, and Cloud9 right now is not even going to be fielding Sneaky.
True.
So to me, that tells me that you have the player that is in the strongest and biggest surge for Golden Guardians going up against a Cloud9 bottom lane that apparently can't really figure out who they want to be running in the last 2 weeks. That to me tells me that Golden Guardians is going to go on a tear. And if you look at their last games in the past 2 weeks, they have not only innovated with the Tristana pick, the Karthus as well, they have crushed competition with it.
Even though they got the loss of Deathly, I didn't feel like Deathly played that poorly, right, for them.
Yeah, I mean, they mostly win and lose through how well the top side of their map does or how well they actually make the plays around bot lane. It's usually not like individual laning.
It's not that Deathly is a poor player. It's the fact that Sneaky is the emotional pillar for Cloud9. It's the fact that when Cloud9 falls behind, Sneaky is the one to bring the team back. And if he's not there, Golden Guardians can get a lead in the laning phase. He's now dealing with a Karthus, a Tristana.
I'm going to stop you there. Don't feel like you have to defend this.
Oh,
against Mark. We already know you're right. Mark picked the other team, so you're good to go.
Thank you.
No, that said, Mark, you went and predicted. Wait, it was Mark or Kobe? 100 Thieves.
I got 100 Thieves.
That was you, Kobe. So explain to me the 100 Thieves call over Clutch.
Yeah, I think last week one was an aberration for 100 Thieves. Actually, they were so disappointed with losing that game. They were well aware of their mistakes. And I think there were some adjustments after the patch changes too. That they were not comfortable with. I think they're going to come back much stronger.
Why Clutch? The Clutch, the line thing where they managed to beat teams below them or around them in the standings, they play such an aggressive, different style than anyone else that they're kind of hard to prepare for, as well as they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and they've gotten better over the course of the season at executing these difficult comps.
You say only this aggressive style. They had back-to-back Corky games in the last
Exactly.
weekend.
They can do multiple things now. Thanks for making my point even better.
Nice pivot.
I like it. All right, well, it's time for us to send it to the battle arena for the call. And while they're guiding you through Champion Select, we're going to explain to Mark why he's wrong.
I'm not.
Well, Mark is always wrong because he doesn't pick the winners. That's just what it comes down to.
I mean, I actually think he's even worse at the stock game if he's good at predictions and bad at the stock game.
Yeah, you already know who's going to win. How did you get this wrong?
Yeah,
it's
I don't
incredible.
know.
Just doesn't know how math works, I guess. But Optic Gaming and Counter Logic Gaming about to be underway here in Champion Select. And this game definitely means a lot. CLG and this new fight for a playoff bye. They are currently in second place, and every time CLG gets a bye, they win the split, they win the championship. Optic, meanwhile, have a hard schedule remaining.